Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Tchaikovsky from My Holistic Self. And we have a special guest today, Jeff Pulver. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello. So grateful to be here. Grateful to be back here.
Awesome to have you. Back. So we do our little overview of our solar weather and solar flares and all that stuff. And then we go into our little update. And then we'll have a chat and find out what's going on. Here we go. So as you can see for our flares and stuff, it's been actually pretty quiet in the last little bit. You can see here we've only had a few Cs. We haven't even had a lot of those. And those have been, that's pretty quiet compared to what we have been seeing overall. So our KP index, of course, is up and down, and we've had a few higher ones in the 5. Nothing like we had a few weeks ago where they're up in 8, but still definitely some movement in that regard. And we have our ads. Our Schumann here, we did have some a few days ago. It was actually up at 101 a few days ago. Today we're at 24, which isn't too bad, but it looks like we might be in a little blackout at the moment. This is usually a little further over, I think. So yeah, so we definitely have some of that coming in. We've also got, of course, lots of the energetic downloads and all that stuff coming in as well. So how have you been feeling out there, guys? We've got Hypnocity joining us.
Hey, Nalani.
Welcome. And then we have Fogo Pogo. So welcome, Nalani and Kaylee. And Jen, what's going on with those neutrinos?
Oh, yeah. Our lovely neutrinos. So we are just at the very tail end of the gate 55. The gate 55 is the gate of abundance, the gate of spirit. This energy brings us from the shadow of victimization to the siddhi of freedom, which is also the gift in this case of freedom. And it's about triggering genetic shifts that help us across the planet, right? So really bringing in change and shifting the energy. It's from the victim state of drama, right? So if we're feeling that complaining or blaming energy, that's in that kind of victimization shadow, but it really brings us through to a place where we're able to kind of release that and release the pressure of that. But I'm not spending a whole lot of time on that one because we're kind of in the last day of it. So we're going to go into the 37. The 37 is the family, it's friendship. It's about, embracing the outsider. So the energy here shifts us from the shadow of weakness to the siddhi of tenderness through the gift of equality. And so this energy in its highest expression actually teaches us that true security is going to arise through that equality. It's not about control. It's not about obligation. It really is that mutual respect energy that can come in this transit. So when we're looking at the weakness aspect of it, right, this is where the shadow is seeking security through approval. I need harmony in order to feel safe. I'm not okay if everything isn't okay around me. This is where we can get into a lot of that people-pleasing energy, right? I have to keep everyone happy so that I'll belong, so that things will be okay. And the energy of this belonging idea can often in the shadow side be built on suppression, and that will always eventually fracture, right? We know that, we've seen that in so many things, even in the world today, right? That fracturing that happens when that control has to be there. And so the shadow needs to be able to shift. And so as we shift into that gift of equality, it's more balanced exchange, right? We have clear agreements. We're able to really express what we need and what we want. And there's warmth that's able to be shared without obligation. We're able to really step into a place where we can begin to form relational stability and work on emotional maturity, right? Set healthy boundaries. I know we talk about this a lot on the show, and really step into a sense of genuine belonging because we're able to be in community and we're able to connect and be open with each other about where we're at, what our experiences are, how we're feeling in the moment. So some prompts for this week, because this energy, like I said, it's going to be just starting, so it's going to carry us through the week. Where am I compromising my authenticity for the sake of harmony, right? What unspoken agreements shape my relationships? How is that showing up? What, is kind of the undercurrent there? Where does resentment maybe reveal some imbalances that are happening in my experience? And the affirmation for this energy is, I honor my need for connection without losing myself. I cultivate fairness and speak truth with care. Through equality and presence, love becomes steady.
Beautiful. All about not
Very nice.
self-abandoning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, guys. Put that affirmation right in chat there.
Beautiful. So Jeff,
Yes.
why don't you tell our audience about you? I know we've had you on numerous times, but we may have new people.
Well, I'm here, which of itself is a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yes.
Well, today, that's a hard question to answer, depending upon what dimension we're talking through and from. So, but if we're talking just in the present moment, who I am, I'm somebody who helps to bring change forward in a positive way, that believes in being grounded, and that there are things in life you should just not take for granted. One of them are the people around you, and that every day truly is a miracle. Every day truly is a blessing. And unfortunately, some of us don't appreciate that until it's too late, or until we're in a situation where we're just reminded of how good it was yesterday and where are you now today? And it's like, wait a second, I didn't ask for this, but maybe you did. Maybe it was the thoughts you had in your mind that you didn't clear, where you were acting in a certain way and then you got what you wished for and didn't realize it. So there's a lot of, I'm a very strong believer in the now. That is to say that the only thing we have control over is the moment we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that taoism is something which some people just don't really understand until they're in it. And so, like, if we have to let go of what we can't control, which so worrying, for example, a lot of gets to a lot of people at different reasons people worry. But if you realize that worrying is a waste of time, and that you let go of what you can't control and you focus on what you can control, you can control the moment you're in, and then you can be the king or queen of that moment, and you own it. And when you take that position, you then are in control of what happens next, even if that next is the next moment in front of you. And that when you allow yourself to be positive and to say, I can do this, and take away blaming someone else for what you're not able to do, you're now in a much better frame to do a lot of great things. And so I believe in the moment. I believe the state of now is the state of you, the state of me, the state of we. And that when we're present in our moment, great things can happen, because we have to allow ourselves to do that. And also, to be ready to receive. I mean, a lot of people I run into wish for things, but they're actually not ready to get what they're asking for. So there's this look, which, and some people don't realize that, I want this, but do you really? Or are you ready to get what you're asking for? Are you prepared to stand in your truth and to be who you are? And so I'm someone who just believes in being in the moment and enjoying everything you can above that moment, about that moment, and do not live in regret. Live in your power. Be who you are. People spend a lot of time of their life to discover who they are, but when you realize who you are, be that person and stand in your truth. And when you're doing so, stay in your now and understand that you're now controlling what happens next. I do have a picture of a sign I took a few years ago that says, only dead fish go with the flow. So you can control your own flow, be your flow, be who you are, and be proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we have a few people here so we've got Jack. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey, Jack.
She says, agreed. Miracles that we are surrounded. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Nalani says, I need to remember that. And careful what you wish for.
And that is so true. And both the good and the not so good. But I really, I do remember to wish for good things. Bad things unfortunately happen from time to time. Just they do. But there are lessons to be learned, and sometimes in the direst situations, when you don't see anything in front of you, it might be that what you don't have is a wide angle lens. You're so focused on the moment you're in, and you feel so stuck. And how could you not? You're human, so you just you're all in. But if you go pull back, you might actually see a miracle that's happening that you only realize after the fact has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I could say you've sort of recently lived through that, so I can tell you that there are miracles there every day, and sometimes you don't even know who to thank until way after you ask for something, but they're there. And just be open to receiving, and be careful what you ask for, but at the same time, with gratitude, be ready to receive.
Mm-hmm. And I love that example of not, hey Shem, of not knowing, sometimes what we're asking for, because that lens, right? You were saying about when you pull back and you see the bigger picture, because so often, I'll talk with people about difficult experiences that they're going through, and we don't always get to see in the moment why we're going through that experience. But then at some point we go, oh.
The reveal happens, and then it's like, wait a second, okay. And you can be blindsided by it too. You don't see it, maybe you don't even see it coming, or maybe you do and you deny it, and then the moment happens, and then you deal with it until you can, and then it changes in your favor. So it's, there is flow around us too, and it's really up to each of us to be in that moment, and to really stay in your power, but first of all, to decide who you are. And every day is a miracle, so every day you have a chance to be a better version of yourself if you choose to be. Every day matters. Every day you have a chance to do something amazing, and that it's never too late to start. You don't even have to justify it. You start where you are, and you move forward with that. And whether that's something where you're taking on a project, or you're working on yourself, and rather than being defensive, just be steady, be a rock for who you are, right? Stand by and be your best friends. There's the world can be so hard and challenging that sometimes you need to be your own best friend. So attacking yourself does not help, and so giving yourself a chance just to breathe and be present, and to and just be is sometimes the greatest gift you can have. And so to let go of all the other pressure, because the pressure is going to be there, but to take those times and to give yourself love, and to allow yourself to receive love, and really, there are times when you need to be the love for others, that you need to be there to help other people who don't know how to help themselves, and to be present, to just be an ear. Being an ear is much harder than being a voice. But if you could be the ear and let people speak, and let them know that they're heard, and that they're
holding space, right, for others.
You're holding that space, and you're really being protective, and creating, if you will, a safe space for them. That's also an important thing to do. So who am I? I'm somebody who believes in everything that I just said.
Beautiful. And Shem says, power of now, with a heart.
Absolutely. Well, and it's interesting because the energy of the transit, when we look at the siddhi of it, which I know I didn't really get into, but it's tenderness. And this is the love that shows up in shared presence.
Oh.
It's that ability to be together. And it's not about sentimentality. It's really about a direct experience of unity within the diversity that we all are, right? So there's no need to bargain or to have expectation. It's not about tit for tat or any of that. It is exactly what you're saying, where that care can just naturally flow, and our hearts are able to soften, and we're able to really sit in that energy, in that space where we can, just be in that moment and recognize the profound strength of that.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So that's, and that's why I'm grateful to be with you on the show, because, you know, for me, it's a very great place to be both grounded and to be open and to be present for ourselves and for everyone around us. And it's, you know, it's these little and yes, the little things matter a lot, and it's, and you know, there are times every day when give yourself a treat. Don't hold back. If there's something that you really want, particularly it's the little things I notice matter the most. You know, don't be afraid to be kind to yourself. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. The only one who's going to know you're depriving yourself is you. So that little thing, go for it. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I love that ability, you know, to just be, you know, Shem, just be, right? And you had said that, Jeff. And I think, you know, when we do sit in a moment of, okay, now what? It is so easy to go into that space of beating ourselves up and like, how did I get myself here? And why am I going through this? And what is happening? As opposed to being able to go, okay, I can't change everything that led me to this point, but what I can do is make a fresh start of who I want to be in this moment as I move forward.
Yes, because I mean, the reality is the past has happened. And so we you can't really change that past. If you have that time machine, please let me know how to get into it, because there are very interesting experiments here. But the past has happened. You know, understand that, right? And the future is not promised. So in the space of the now is where you have the most power. And so, you know, it's and regrets are interesting, but again, I really cannot say I regret anything, because I wouldn't be here right now if I did. Living in regret is hard. I'm not denying anything I've done either. I'm just saying that being present in the moment is the blessing we forget about until you're reminded about how beautiful it is to be where you are. And you know, for people who worry about, you know, who complain how warm it is outside, you may walk outside and have a blizzard. You just don't know. It just things. And
We've had a lot of that this winter.
Yeah, you know,
A lot of that.
we had a lot of blizzard. We had Northeast had a wonderful storm in the last 24 hours, and but sometimes your life is a blizzard too, right? And we have tornadoes that come through us. We have all sorts of interesting, you know, solar activity and energy. Sometimes it's so strong, and you know, there's a tsunami of just waves that hit us. And what do we do with it? And really, at some level, when you feel that someone else needs help, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to be a friend. You know, because people are sometimes don't even know how to ask for help, and being a grounding source, and to remind somebody that everything can be okay. You know, it's everyone has. We have no idea all the personal trauma that people have that they've experienced and living through, and it's really easy for some people to be judgmental, but really we're limited by the lens of us that we have. And so sometimes it's like, rather than being judgy, if you actually just allow yourself to be present and listen to the waves coming through and out, you might take on a different opinion of what's going on. And rather than jumping to judgment as far as about a person, it's really more of the moment. And it's really maybe that moment is so powerful that you just need to be quiet and let them be who they are, and understand that together they'll get through it. And just, you know, some things you don't realize when you're younger, but at the same time, you know, the truer you are to who you are, the easier it's going to be to connect to everyone else. And it's that staying grounded and reminding yourself to ground. You know, when things are crazy, it's kind of hard to ground, so it's hard to stay focused. But if you can let go and just let go of what's not good for you and be present for you,
and having
present you can have,
and maintaining those heart connections, like you were saying.
Absolutely. And it's really hard at times, on all levels. You know, there's the physical, lots of emotions, and then, you know, it's really hard. You know, sometimes you need to be a rock for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like you're a piece of sand, you got to be a rock, and stay. Just it's the people. More people rely on you than you even realize, And so be as strong as you can for the benefit of those that you love, and the benefit of those who you love, and love you, so that there's a strength there. So when you can center and be in your now, you're really a sun, almost like a solar. I mean, the energy source is like a sun, but more so. It's just super strong.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people just need to feel that heat. They just need to feel that the positive waves of energy coming through and through. And so yeah, so it's and I like to think that we all have the ability to do that, but sometimes we have to be reminded about who we really are. And you know, it's the people the people we are when we sleep can also be the people we are when we're awake. That's up to you.
Yes. I loved what you were saying about that authentic self, right? Really just being our authentic self and letting people meet us there and not holding on, right? The more authentic we are, the more we can recognize that if my authentic self doesn't resonate with your authentic self, that's okay. I don't have to hold on to that, because the people that are going to be my people are the ones that are going to authentically resonate with me. So I don't have to make or force something. I can just allow.
No. Tell me that if I only knew that when I was in 10th grade. Now, if I only knew that then.
It's true. Right? We would have, pushed away a whole lot of other emotion that we had when we were teens.
But that authentic self is really the you that you are, right? And so, and when do you then start to understand that you have the ability to resonate and vibrate with those who you want to, who just you feel naturally connected in your tribe, and that it's okay not to resonate with everybody. And so these are life lessons that people will figure out eventually, right? And even if you try your best to deliver this knowledge to someone who's younger, until they're ready to hear you, they're not going to. It doesn't matter how much you love them, how much you care, how much you don't want them to relive what you did. There comes a moment in time, they'll get it. And sometimes they need to get it on their own terms. But do know that eventually most people will get that. And being who you are is the best person you ever can be, right? It is the true you. And, understanding who you are and being proud of that is a very special thing, an incredible thing, actually, and a very fun thing too.
Yeah. When we tap into that authentic self, that heart, that love that is in there, in our hearts.
Yes.
We tap into spirit that way. And who that
all the time. And, the hard part sometimes is, meeting somebody and all of a sudden you're channeling and you're having a conversation and they see you a second time and you have no recall at all that you spoke to them before. It's really embarrassing when that happens, let me tell you, but it does happen.
Yeah, I've had it happen.
And what's worse maybe is you're in a social environment, and so you don't even recognize them because you were someplace else when you were talking to them, and they think you're being aloof. When really, you truly don't know that you spoke to them before. How do you possibly explain this to somebody? I just like, because it's like, it's okay, it happens.
Absolutely.
Hi, Jeff. I'm Janice.
They call me Jeff. I don't know why, but they call me Jeff. It's
okay. Yeah.
It's true.
I have those moments though, even just in sessions with clients, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, say that again." And I'm like, "Oh,
what? Say what?
Say what?" Okay, hold on. And I was like, "Oh, let me really bring that." Like, what? Because I'm like, I know it was a message that came through the moment that somebody. Right. Oh, that hit home. That's not me. That's
no, it's them. Right. You just happen to be there to help them hear it, but it's but so I've stopped even attempting to explain how that happens to someone who doesn't get the other part of me. Yeah. And that's okay too. It's I think just allowing yourself to be present for those who need you is a really special thing, and an incredible thing also when you realize that you need you to be who you are for you too. And there are different times for you to be you, and there are different times for you to be, it's in some ways we're very adaptive. And again, I could not possibly remember every conversation I've had with people who needed to receive a message or two. I just, at this point, just assume it's been received. But the crazy, I mean, I'll call it crazy because I don't have another way to say it, but I remember had to be during sometime in 21, I was walking through at Trader Joe's with a couple of friends, and out of the blue, a person comes up to me right when I'm coming to the checkout counter, who told me that I was at a conference like 7 years before that, and I came up to that person, I gave them some life-changing advice, although they thought I was crazy at the time I met them, and they listened to me, and their life was changed, and they wanted to know at that moment, what advice did I have for them then? I said, excuse me, who are you?
What's your name again? Yeah.
I had no idea who they were. And I had no recollection whatsoever of the conversation that I had or why I spoke to them. And it was but that, it's like, it happens, we are there's a lot of electricity in us, and sometimes we bring it in. And so we just have to make sure that we set our limitations too, right? We want to, it's one thing to be helpful, but at the same time, you don't want to be you don't want to end up being sacrificed by somebody whose energy is, let's just say, not the right mix.
I had a very long channeled session today. Actually, I ended up channeling for, I think, about 45 minutes for a client. So it was, and of course I come out of it, I'm like, I hope that was helpful.
Sometimes it's incredibly draining, and sometimes it's actually the other side too. I mean, there are times when it's like, gee, where's a shower? I need to take a shower and recharge. Yeah. Or it's like, wow, this is great. I felt like it was an hour in sunshine. So it just depends upon what's going on around you, and it's still a gift though, and it's just a beautiful way to connect and to really be and learn who you are and what your missions are, or if you're ready to receive those missions, or at least hear what they could be. But one thing is, I never attempt to rationalize what's said. I let the interpretation be heard by the person, because as you were hinting, it's like you say something, it's like, yeah, I don't know what I just said. I mean, hopefully you're writing it down, because I'm not. And
yeah, absolutely. But I think that what you're saying there is such an important piece too, because our brain loves to filter. So being able to be in that place where we completely get out of the way, we're not filtering it anymore. It becomes a really pure message.
Right. And that's, I think, part of the magic is to allow yourself to step out of the way and not bias what's being said or interpret what's being said, and just let it the voice be heard in the manner which is meant to be received. And encourage. I mean, I also encourage people to listen for themselves, and they say they can't hear anything. It's like, okay, but maybe you're just looking in the wrong places. Look up at the clouds. The cloud to the right over there. Yeah, it's for you. You just don't see the wind, but it's really for you. And it's anything and everything. And it's like I'm in Florida, flying back from a business conference. What are the odds that a friend of mine from the West Coast is on the same flight? In fact, not on the same flight, he has a seat next to me. And I didn't know that he was flying on that day. And yet he and his wife were on the plane, and it's like they were on 2 days before that. They were someplace totally else, but they ended up on that plane sitting next to me. Like, how do you explain that? I don't explain that. I just accept it as that, okay, this is what happens.
Yeah, that's just meant to be.
It's like the serendipity and synchronicity of those moments. And for people listening who are starting to realize there is serendipity and synchronicity in their lives, rather than denying it, when you start to accept it, you can start to see other patterns which have always been in front of you. And those signs, for me, it's like people always say, well, what happens to you? I said, look, when opportunity knocks, open the damn door. People wait their entire life to have something happen. And so, you have a chance to, if you don't open the door, you'll never know what's going to be. Don't be afraid of success. That's one of the big things I run into also over time anyway, is people who ask and wish, but when the opportunity is presented, they're so afraid. Well, what if they say no? What if this? What if they say yes?
Yeah.
Are you prepared to embrace what happens next and take that one foot and put it in front of the next and receive the next step and the next step and the next step? Don't hold back, because it's, and please don't be afraid of who you are, and don't be afraid of great things can happen. It's just, we pray, I pray, I ask, I look for help, and for me, I think a life lesson I had in the last 12 months is that miracles do happen every day, but sometimes you need to be able to change the focal point of your lens to truly appreciate the miracle of life and the miracle of being, and that maybe there are times when you'll have to wait to see that your wishes were truly granted, but your lens was out of focus at the time, so you just couldn't see it for yourself.
Yeah, such a beautiful reminder, Jeff, because, we can do that where we get very, narrow focused, right? Yeah. You're making it even smaller. Like that's it. That's it. Where it's like, okay, I want this blessing, and this is how I want to see it. This is how I want it to arrive, and then it's blessing after blessing after blessing, but we just don't see those miracles as they happen because we're so focused on, I have to see it this way or it isn't happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
part of why, that's part of the reason I do what I do now, is because I had 2 burnouts. So at the time, the burnouts were not nice.
Right.
But this is why they happen. So I could be doing this, which is something that I love. And that's, if we can see that there are other opportunities that come in, even in those times when we think we're not happy with what's happening.
Doing what you love is a blessing. And discovering what you love is also a blessing. And giving yourself a chance to figure that out is a really special time. So, so being disconnected for some period of time, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you have a chance to not panic and be present for you and to listen and just hear your mind go and figure out who you are and who you're meant to be. And by the way, if you're meant to be someone else tomorrow, be that person tomorrow. Don't hold back. And that is the, I find this usually like when I host a conference, particularly, and I run into someone who I haven't seen probably in 10, 15 years, somehow we transport our persona back to the persona we were the time we first met. Mm-hmm. Even if that's not our reality where we are now, but somehow we have this transportation ability to go back to that person. And maybe that's not the person you are today. But we're pretty dynamic like that as people. But that's, when I'm with someone else, I could trigger that. But being who you are today and being proud of yourself is really a hard thing at times, and at the same time, a very special thing. And so, we're all on a path, we're all on a journey, and to bring other people on your journey who are open to receiving that magic is a really special moment too. And it's all about balance. So I mean, that the reason I think we burn out is because we go all in and we don't, are you hydrating? Are you literally giving yourself a chance to be balanced? And all or nothing isn't necessarily the right answer either. And so you want to find a way to connect with connect with others, but be there for yourself, and to at least be receiving some voice, some other source of nourishment, so that you are open to being nourished. And so we burn out because we can, but we don't necessarily have to.
Well, and it's making different choices. I was doing something that was not meant for me. Right. It was something so it was more draining than it was fulfilling. And you have to learn to fill yourself up, and that's following what you love.
Yeah, that, and also every once in a while it's okay to fire a client or two. If you
every so often,
clients that are you, that are taking away your energy, that look forward to having as clients, that might be a message in there for you that you might want to just, however you do it, politely or otherwise, like just move on and say, this is it. And that's also comes under the category of self-love from my perspective, because if you look at your calendar, you look at what you're doing today, and you're so not looking forward to that 4:30 call you have, there's something you could do about that. And if you do have an annoying friend, by the way, who always calls you at the wrong time, if you hang up on yourself when you're talking, it works amazingly well.
Like I always say, my boss can be a real witch.
Because it's like no one expects you to hang up on yourself, so it's like it's bad reception, whatever it is. But it's like it helps, it works.
If I'm talking to myself, it's okay. I'm just having a staff meeting, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I know people
but
have
I
heard
think
those
it comes
before.
back
They're not original.
yeah, but those boundary pieces, right? Being able to actually set a boundary, whether it's an energetic boundary or a personal boundary, whatever it is, but that's part of that being authentically yourself.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
And that the authentic you is a very special you. And with those boundaries, you know, and it's like, and I would, yeah, I believe that everyone's boundaries are probably different. And that, you know, you know, even what a boundary is might even be defined differently by different people, but we know what they are, and you certainly know when they've been breached. And so to be respectful of that and have that safe space for yourself is really truly important. And when you look at the boundaries and then that then help provide that authentic you to exist and be respectful of that is really important things. And you know, in this the year of the horse, which is, you know, I think it's time for everybody to giddy up. I was very happy to give up the year of the snake. I think I gave it up ahead of time, but I was, and you know, right. It's funny. I can't tell you how many people I mentioned that after February 16th, February 17th forward would be a better time for them for all different reasons.
Yeah.
But coincidentally, the timing has turned out in the past week to be pretty amazing for all things considered, pretty good for the folks I've been talking to. And they're just, you know, it's like if you know the truth and you could share it, and then then it reminds me of A Few Good Men, because some people just, you know, from the movie, because some people just can't handle the truth, or they don't want to know the truth, or it's just too strong, or they just don't believe. And it's like, because even when you know, there's some people I may channel for where, you know, it's like they get annoyed because if I don't tell them what they want to hear, they get really mad. But it's like, I don't know what I'm not telling them. So it's like, how do I know why are they angry all of a sudden? Because it's like, I don't know what they were expecting. But if it happens over and over and over again, it's like, so then I remember every once in a while, like, oh, wasn't this good? Weren't you like looking for something? And it's like, they're happy to attack when things aren't so good. But when things are good, it's like, all right, fair enough, giddy up. We'll just move on to the next station and we'll see where we go. And it's, I think again, every day is a blessing, and every day is that miracle for you, and for those who know you, and for those who you surround yourself with, and those who come in and out of your life. And it's just a beautiful thing to be present, so that you can have those interactions. And and yeah, maybe, you know, being grounded is great, and maybe we do need to be reminded about how special it is just to be, because you know, again, it's easy to take things for granted. It's because it's the human side of things. The energy on the energy side, you may know not to take it for granted, but as humans, there are times when we need to be, you know, kicked out of a garden of Eden or something. We have to be reprimanded in certain ways, so that we just know better. But at the same time, you know, it's a beautiful thing to be alive and to be able to have the freedom to be you, and just be you, and be happy about who you are, and to embrace the magic of your flow, and the magic of being you, and to understand that when you know who you are, and you are the authentic you, you're also the most powerful you.
Yeah.
And with that power comes great responsibilities.
We're just riding through all the different movies here.
Well, you know, it's true.
No, I love it. I love it. But yeah, I love what you're saying there too. You know, that just that idea of really being you, and it's okay if other people can't handle the truth. This is actually a theme that's been coming up a lot with people lately, is not feeling safe or not feeling in control if somebody has an opinion of me or an idea of me that I don't have the ability to impact or change, or an idea of something else, right? I know that the world is really split now with ideas. And I think it's such an important piece for us to recognize that it's okay that we don't all agree. And it's okay if somebody doesn't see us the way we want to be seen. As hard as that is, it's okay, because it's also showing us a place where maybe we need a boundary, a place where maybe we need to let go, a place where maybe there is something that isn't aligned in this moment, and that's okay. right? These are beautiful signs of, what do I want to do at this point? Do I want to continue to work on this? Do I want to release this? What is it pulling from me in this moment when I'm having this feeling of, oh no, right? They're not seeing me the way I want to be seen. Okay, well, what's going on there for you?
True. So
And
true.
you always say, Jen, that the emotions are like your signposts, right?
Absolutely.
It just sort of mirrors back to you, sort of what's happening for you and why is it happening. And I always, with my clients, do the 5 whys when we're having emotional times. Why are you feeling that way? And we usually end up getting to fear, of course, if they're triggered. So, then we can look at the fear. So what's the fear for?
Yeah.
What's that about? I know you do a lot of that too, Jen. I'm sure you do too, Jeff.
Yeah, well,
consulting clients and stuff.
It comes in different places, and sometimes it's not even the fear part. It's just the fear. The fear is it triggers other things.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really then try to reverse engineer what those other things are, and then you may realize that that's why I'm saying people are. I won't say shocked, but when people are on one hand asking for great things to happen, and then they're afraid for great things to happen. Wait a second. Yeah. So if you want great things to happen, be ready to receive it. Oh, no, but they never happen. But what if they do? Then what am I going to do? Like, wait a second. It's like, be careful what you ask for, which is one of those, like, okay, so if you're going to ask for this, get this. It's like if you're asking for a sunny day, be prepared for a sunny day. It's like, it's going to be okay. Oh, yeah. So maybe you need sunscreen. Oh, maybe you need to wear a hat. And they don't want to wear a hat. They don't want sunscreen, but you wanted a sunny day. So it's like, get with the program. And it's like, wait a second. All right, well, so be careful. And, I don't know. I do prefer rain over snow. I do prefer rain I prefer sunshine over rain or snow. But there's sometimes a rainy day or a lightning storm or something that puts that ionization in the air. It's such a beautiful feeling afterwards. And, look, it's very rare to see rainbows without rain. And I do love rainbows. So I'm not in favor of the rain, although, of course, we need it for the land. But really, I like the rainbows after. And I like the natural beauty. And if people are bored, just get up early and watch a sunrise or stay up for a sunset, because I'm so amazed that some of the most beautiful things in the world are free. That every day we have a majestic painting waiting to be seen. Some days it's plainer than other days. Some days, you think you have clouds, it's gonna be a bad day. No, the clouds in the morning sky and the evening sky turn out to the most spectacular sunrises and sunsets. It's that it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So if you're feeling bored, you want to be inspired, get up early and watch a sunrise. Watch the sunset, or go to a place where you have dark skies and go see some shooting stars. Just look up into that universe, and you will be reminded that we are made of, we're just made of dust. And it's a very, very, for some people, they don't want to hear about this stuff, but really, we are just who we are here inside of galaxies, which there are many billions of.
Absolutely.
And it's like, if you could zoom out and zoom out and zoom out, we realize we're just a speck of cosmic dust. Each of us have our own issues, but in the collective of where we're coming from, we're one of many other billions and billions and trillions of other things happening around us. So yes, we all do matter, but at the same time, we're part of this universe, maybe a large universe of love and beauty that we could all find every day. We have beautiful, beautiful things to embrace if we allow ourselves the beauty, the magic to see the beauty and to embrace that love, because love is around us. Sometimes we're blind to it, but it's there.
It is.
It's okay to find it and realize, yes, it's okay to receive love and to be love and to be you, and just know that you are loved, and that even if the people around you are afraid to say "I love you," don't be afraid of love. Love is something there to embrace. It heals. It gives you the most incredible power to be there. And sometimes you have to be the one to say "I love you," because the people around you, they don't know how to say that. So don't be afraid of love. I know this is not the Valentine's Day show, but I'm telling you.
It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day to say "I love you."
Exactly.
We should be saying it all the time.
Yeah, because Because that's, to me, it's like the most grounded thing to, when you can speak of love from your heart, and be speaking your truth, it's a beautiful thing to share.
Yeah.
Well, and you can never have too much love,
No,
right?
no. And the authentic love, the authentic self with the authentic love is a beautiful, beautiful combination.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's such an important thing too, because, you know, we think about love and then, you know, you mentioned Valentine's Day. And I think we often think love is this like wishy-washy rainbows and roses and whatever. But it's like, no, love can be very strong. Love is very powerful. Love has a force that can go against any other force in the
Just
world.
look at mother's love.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. And so to be able to be in that space where we are able to acknowledge that love. Oh, I love you, Shem.
Love you, Shem.
You know, that we're able to be in a place where we are holding it. Because if you think about it, we have every emotion inside of us. We've talked about this on the show before. We hold every emotion. And we hold every quality within us. But what we hold on to, what we grasp, what we focus on is what comes forward, right? It's what ends up being harbored the most. And so we can choose to harbor anger, and we can choose to harbor, you know, frustration or sadness or whatever it is. And it's not to say that those are bad. I think every emotion has a purpose and is good. But if we can harbor love within ourselves, then we have capacity to sit with all of those other things in a beautiful, constructive way.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if you have Tana sitting on your shoulder, apparently. Eventually you end up with a little Tanis on your shoulder. It's supposed to be shoulder. There was a correction. Asking the 5 whys, even when she's not there. Sorry.
Wow. Well, I love you guys. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, I love you too.
And thank you for doing what you do, and for being present, and for being there, and for being a voice for people who just to help people understand the magic that you represent and the special place in the world that you're from, and the messages that these people, your friends, are there to receive. It's a blessing, and it's truly beautiful, and it's unbounded love, unbounded beauty, and just being able to help share the messages of the universe back to the world is a very special ability you share. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you. You do the same.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, and it's such a neat thing too, because, you know, Tanis and I have talked a little bit before about, you know, where this show came from and how it came to be, but it came from love. Like, it came from us sitting there loving to be able to have these deep conversations, and then going, you know, I think there's other people in the world who would also like these conversations. And this could be really helpful for someone. And if it's helpful for just one person, it's worth doing it.
Absolutely.
Right? That really is love too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a beautiful, it's absolutely, truly beautiful. And yes, and I did a podcast for I don't know, for a year and a half, and I stopped doing it like 5 years ago. And I get emails from people who randomly tune into a certain episode, and it's like, I don't remember the episodes, I just remember what I was doing, and they love the story. And for whatever reason, it's always seems somehow the episode they tuned into was most meaningful for them at that moment in time they heard it, and it's like, yes, that's what it's all about. Yes. So I wish that we're blessed with people hearing our messages, to receive them at a time when it's most needed for them to hear it and be present for it. And that's the magic that we represent, really. And it's really true love and true everything about who you are and who you want to be, and to know that, yes, you are loved, and you are heard, and there's meaning behind what you say, and there's meaning behind about what you do. And yes, it matters a lot, and you matter too, so much so. And it's just you just being seen is sometimes an incredibly hard thing, and at the same time, an incredible empowering thing, to be heard and to be seen and to be present.
Well, and we're grateful every week with our group of listeners that are here every day, every time they're always here. So, we thank you all. for joining us every week.
Thank you.
And we love all of you. It's
absolutely
the reason why we're here.
Yeah, it's why we do what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
So what's going on for you lately? Are you doing any conferences and all of that stuff?
Me? Yeah, I'm actually, I waited probably it took me 20 years to discover, because I 30 years ago, I started focusing on the internet and communications, and I did an event that I ran for about 11 years. And while I've been fortunate to do other events over the last bit of time, only about 3 years ago did I discover a new emerging technology that, when merged with or used with AI, could be a game changer. And so now I'm very much focused on in the world of voice and conversations. That's the world I'm in, and it's all about the conversation, about capturing what's said and the truth, the knowledge, and then what you do with it. And so I'm doing events. I have a large event for us coming up at the end of March, followed with an event in Atlanta in mid-October. And a lot of my energy is spent pre-event curating the content. Like I have to show you all the what I've been working on is,
looks like my desk.
This is well, you can't even see. This is the layout of I over 2 days. I have like 24 breakout sessions and like 11 keynotes and 7 plenary sessions. Well, it's a lot of content for 2 days.
Yeah.
It's really an experience, and it's really about giving everyone a stage and everyone a chance to be seen and be heard. And so I'm working hard on that. That's the other part of me. I don't really discuss these topics at that event. I have at times, but people there wouldn't even know what I was talking about, and that's okay.
That's okay. That's their
yeah. I mean, the closest I ever got there was years ago. I started something called the 140 conference, where we had everyone on stage had 10 minutes to talk. It didn't matter who you were, how famous you were, or how infamous you were. 10 minutes, and I did that across the world, and those were fun events. I ended up doing a spirituality conference. I teamed up with Deepak Chopra for a few events, and Deepak has some really interesting friends. And even his friends, they had to speak for 20 minutes because 10 minutes was not enough. But anyway, it was okay. But Deepak was good. He did 10, and everyone else mostly did 10. And it was really special to just look at the how people, we did deal with love. We dealt with self-love. We dealt with a lot of interesting areas, and how open people were to receiving, to being heard. We opened those conferences with an opening meditation, and it was really, really beautiful events. And so I'm not doing those events right now, though, but now I'm more on the business technical side of stuff. And but what it does do is, it gives me energy. And the most fun I have for the events is the curation process of figuring out, okay, you saw those boxes on those pieces of paper, figuring out who to invite, what boxes to put them in, so I could then curate. And then it's a good thing I use Post-it notes, because every once in a while I move someone from one spot to the other. It's sort of like DJing. So this is not a commercial for Post-it notes, but when you're DJing a party or a playlist, and you try to figure out the song list and the order to put the music. And if you're doing a dance party, you don't want to play the song that makes everyone sit down. You always want people to be having a certain vibration, a certain beat. So same thing with a conference. You want the flow, and like I know what I want to get at. I know what I want the takeaway to be for the people who are attending. And so once I understand that the pool of people who are available to speak, it takes a lot of time for me to figure out the order to have them speak. And so that's what I've been working on the past few weeks. And the event's a month away, so I'm ready to lock it down and to put out the invites. And what I can tell you, the truth I know, is that when the conference takes place one month from now, there'll be most likely 1 or 2 people who I was absolutely counting on to being there who won't be there. It's not because I don't want them to be there, but after 29 years of doing events, I can tell you, life happens. And it's okay. The show will go on, and change happens, and it's okay too. I think I've only done one event where everyone who was supposed to be there showed up, and that was in America. Turns out that was the miracle event. I didn't know that, but it happened. So it's a dynamic about what we do and what I do, and so looking forward to our event we're having in Dallas. But the most fun for me is here, because once I curate it, I then just imagine it happening. And that's a beautiful manifestation, because it just does happen. And a lot of hard work is done by my sister Lauren and others who support the work we do. And I should give a shout out to my sister Michelle, who also works behind the scenes, doing some stuff. And I certainly love that part. And so that's what I'm working on now. And helping people understand how to spell VCON, which is all about voice and conversations on the net, or virtualized conversations. That's very technical, but if there happens to be anyone interested in that area, look me up, because there's a lot of spiritual applications, as it turns out, for these things too, which, as far as I know, have not been explored thoroughly. So I'm always open to have a chat about that. Anyway, so much for that. That's what I'm working on. Have you guys written your books, made your movies yet? Have you done documentaries?
She's written the book. I'm working on it. I've almost got a draft, so we're working on that. And
I think one of you have a documentary to do about some people from some other world coming in.
Yeah,
I think we might be both working on something like that. Actually.
I won't
Eventually.
But it's actually supposed to be really good. You'll be very proud.
Oh, thank you. Just waiting on somebody who wants to produce it.
You may just need to go to a place you don't want to go to get it done.
Yeah. Not at the moment.
No, I know. I get it. It's well, yeah, no. And we talk about this. We won't do this live in front of an audience.
You're going to tell us tell the audience all the secrets, Jeff.
All I'll say is that when you eventually do end up doing it, everyone will be very happy, including you. You'll be something very proud of. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Thank you. And I know that when it's meant to happen is when it will happen. So
exactly.
Also just in that space.
Exactly right. You don't force that. It just happens when it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you guys are great. Thanks for having me as a guest. I am very grateful to you and your audience for being here, and to the two of you for doing what you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I pulled our home play.
Okay. You want to do that before
what
we're doing this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we normally do. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just go with the flow.
Well, and it was funny because I was shuffling the deck, and a card just fell out, and I wasn't really even paying attention. I just put the deck back, and then you may have noticed at one point, Jeff, you were talking, and I looked down, and I started laughing, but it wasn't what you were saying. It was because I pulled "Express Your Love."
Oh, amazing! Wow.
And I just thought, okay, it couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Then we need to do the home play. So this is the home play, guys.
So express your love. You have too much love hidden away in your heart, grandchild. You must let it out. You were born into this earth walk to love, and all of the sacred laws conspire to help you. Do not hold on to the idea that you are alone in this world. You are not. You are a child of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, whose ecstatic coupling gave birth to you and all your relations. Rejoice in your sacred lineage and know you are cherished. You can feel that love. It lives in your heart. When you express who you are, all of creation hears your heart song and sings it back to you. That is the way of the circle of life. Your heart song awakens others to their song, but you must remember to sing it. You have much love to give. Let it flow and watch how love flows back to you. You will transform the very earth you walk on.
Wow.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Love, the theme. It
Love.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Love is the theme.
Our theme is love today. We're showing the love.
Absolutely.
So what have you got going on this week, Jen?
You're going to ask me, and I'm like, oh, hold on. I closed my calendar because my whole computer was glitchy at the beginning, but I do know that on Wednesday, Tanis and I have our very first episode of Between Worlds. It's going to air on radio stations, and you will be able to find us on Facebook and YouTube as well. So like and subscribe, and we will start being on every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on Between Worlds.
Yeah.
Yay.
So it's kind of that's exciting news. We've been telling you there's stuff coming. This is what's coming. So
Amazing.
We have that coming.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's exciting. And then, yeah, we don't have another one together, I don't think, this week after that. I have Infinite Integrations with Jacqueline Richards on Wednesday at 5. And yeah, and then don't forget to come back again next week.
And stay, if you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We just did Anchoring Love Together, which was an event that we did on Zoom, and we recorded the meditation for it. So I'm behind. I have to get that downloaded and properly set up so that we can post it, and Tanis and I both will post it to our YouTube. So you can go ahead and participate in that. We know there is no time and space, so we will all be doing that together no matter when you go ahead and do it.
Yay.
Exactly. So final words, Jen?
Love, love, love. That's all you need.
Love is the answer. Love is the answer.
Love is the answer.
It is. It is. And I will top that off with lead with love and let love lead you. And we are super honored that you are with us, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of your wisdom and your love.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to all our viewers for joining us. And we'll see you again real soon. Take care now.